Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Time now is 6:57. I'm Hillary Floren.
And I'm Nick Patrick here. The countdown has started up again, Hillary. They've delayed it here a little bit, it looks like. We are now T-minus 13 minutes and 50 seconds away from this historic day. Seeing Blue Origin launch into space there with Jeff Bezos' pet project now for about 20 years.
Right. You're excited at home. We're excited here in the studio. But Mauricio is very excited. You said you could actually feel the excitement building out there with all the people who woke up early to see this happen live.
All right, yeah, Hillary, the excitement is palpable here, and you guys just mentioned it. The countdown started again. There was a bit of a sigh of relief as you could take a look. People here are watching the live stream as they're just a few miles away from the launch site. And we got some El Pasoans with us, Mark and Stephanie here. Mark, can you tell us a little bit about what this moment means for you?
Well, as I was telling you earlier, I can remember being, 4 years old and watching Neil Armstrong land on the moon. And here I am now, 56 years old. I'm watching this boom. It's incredible. You actually choke up because now civilians are actually going into space. You can't miss this. This is incredible.
I mean, space is something we used to look up at and dream about, and now?
Yes, now you look up at the stars and you realize that you have a chance to do that. Now you can be joined the ranks of Alan Shepard, Neil Armstrong, Wally Schirra. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime moment.
We know the countdown is on, under 15 minutes ready to go. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, I can't wait. The sheriff said that when this rocket goes off, you can feel it from where we're at. I mean, I couldn't picture a more of a place I would rather be right now than right here.
It is a gorgeous, gorgeous day for us, the weather.
I mean, God could not have blessed us more with, look at the sunrise and hardly any clouds in the sky, no wind. This is a perfect day for a flight.
I'm loving your energy. I feel excited just talking to you. What are you most looking forward to with this launch?
Honestly, I just want to see it go up safely. I want to see it land safely and just experience it, take it all in. I'm not looking for anything special. I just want to experience everything. I want to get that joy that I had when I was 4 years old, back when I'm 56.
What does it mean to you, the fact that this is happening in our backyard? You're from El Paso. It's right here.
Everyone's been talking with when Branson went up in Las Cruces and here out in Van Horn, that now this place is going to blow up. I mean, can you imagine? Space is now part of El Paso. El Paso strong. This is it. This is the place to be.
I love that. I'm excited. You got me even more excited. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Really do appreciate it. And want to just pan over here and show you where exactly we are to give you a little bit of a better picture. People are filing to the front, the closest they can possibly be. This is really the best seat in the house besides, being on the pod with Jeff Bezos and the rest of the crew. So everything is all set here. The weather's looking great. People are excited that the countdown is back on. We'll go ahead and send things back to you.
Well, I guess we got the thumbs up right there, Nicole. I mean, you heard from that onlooker. It is literally the perfect day for a launch.
Oh, perfect day for a launch. We've got the clear skies, and our excitement here in the studio is at an all-time high. So, of course, we want to talk about the launch. Of course, once it takes off, it's going to track a little further north. Then the capsule is going to separate. Then the booster is going to fall to the middle here. Then they're going to reach the Kármán line. So, obviously, that's they're going to gain their astronaut wings there. So we're super excited about that. The capsule separates, and then it's going to drop and deploy, and then it's going to land on the Van Horn floor, of course, kicking up all that Texas dust. So there's our live shot right now of the capsule and the booster there. So at any moment, we are watching this, and we're ready to really watch history in the making, guys.
All right. Thanks so much, Nicole.
All right, so we just heard that they got the go for launch, and you could see the countdown now. We are less than 10 minutes away from witnessing certainly history in the making for not only, really all humanity at this point. As commercial spaceflight, something we've been trying to get to. I know it's taken a long time here since the 60s when those NASA missions, the Apollo missions, were going through, and now we're just waiting for it, Hillary.
We are just waiting, again, 9 minutes. And Dr. Heather Wilson, if you'd chime in here in the studio, I was asking you during the break why that countdown clock stopped, and should we be alarmed? Is that something to worry about? And you said no.
No, whenever you're going to a launch, you want to make sure that everything's right. And so you go down the checklist, and if there's something that needs to be checked or that looks a little off, safety is the first priority. And it's okay to delay a launch. The fact that they made the decision to delay was a good one. It means that they're using their best practices for safety. This is still a very dangerous business. You know, you're sitting on top of a rocket. You want to make sure that everything checks out.
Maybe it just makes the excitement build even more. So let's check in with Saul Saenz right now. He's live at a watch party in Van Horn. What's the feeling like there? Good morning, Saul.
Yeah, of all the places that I would come out to, I actually found a gentleman who's from New York, flew all the way down to New York just to come to this watch party, just to come to this launch. Joining us now is James Gong. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. What do you think so far? You flew all the way from New York. Has it meeting your expectations thus far?
Yes, it's totally worth it. And this is actually not my first time. I've come to Van Horn before for another Blue Origin launch 2 years ago. And it's incredibly exciting just to feel the atmosphere here, get to meet the community and meet other space enthusiasts who've come also from very far away places to witness this historic launch.
You're witnessing actually space tourism in its infancy. What goes through your mind when you think about that?
I think about all the potential future that this new industry will bring for humanity. I think in the future it'll be something that humans will be able to enjoy and explore, and it's very exciting to see the first steps in that direction.
I've asked everyone else the same question, so I'm going to ask you the same question. Would you go up if you were given the opportunity?
I definitely would. I hope to do so in my lifetime.
Yeah. Now, the other launches that you've seen from out here, where have you seen them from?
I saw another one a little bit closer to the Blue Origin launch site off the highway. And it's really a spectacle to witness, since you not only see the rocket, but you feel it in your chest when it roars in the sky. So it's really incredible.
We're looking forward to that. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us, and we're looking forward to that sensation that everyone keeps talking about. And of course, once we feel it, we'll let you all know. Back to you, Hillary and Nick.
All right, exciting stuff. Thank you so much, Saul.
Extremely exciting. We are just about 6 minutes out. We are waiting an announcement to happen from the broadcast right there. You can hear it a little bit in the background as Blue Origin prepares now for this historic step.
Right, that's the host for Blue Origin's feed that we're watching right now, so that is what you're hearing. Her name is Ariane Correll, and she's a director of astronaut sales with Blue Origin. This is first human flight, and we understand that we might hear an announcement right around 6 minutes, so let's go ahead and listen in for just a second.
The Bezos brothers that are going up, and Wally and Oliver, soon to be the oldest and the youngest astronauts who have ever flown into space. Oliver, that's representing our international friends out there, taking the Dutch flag to space. You know, and then again, Wally, who has been thinking about going to space, well, her entire life, but certainly since the 1960s, and she was part of that program that got canceled, and she just kept fighting until recently we said, hey, Wally, why don't you join us for this first crew? And I can only imagine our future customers that are going to go on board and going to represent.
All right, sounds like right there that we're losing that feed. Now, I heard her mention there that the Dutch flag going to space, that, of course, the youngest member, youngest soon-to-be astronaut ever, Oliver Damon here, taking that Netherlands flag there. So
youngest and the oldest.
All in the same capsule. So
social media is blowing up. ABC 7's Brianna Chavez live right now with real-time reaction to what everyone is saying online at this point. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. You know, a lot of people are just waiting in anticipation right now. There's lots of tweets kind of coming in. People not really sure what to expect within the next couple of minutes. As you can see, that countdown clock is less than 5 minutes away. So we're definitely excited. Lots of people excited. This person over here saying that they do things differently in Texas. Relaxed, laid back, cowboy hat wearing astronauts. We saw Jeff Bezos put on his cowboy hat right when he was about to go in. Again, that hatch is locked up. Blue Origin tweeting that the go poll is complete. New Shepard is go for launch. As I mentioned, we are just waiting for that capsule to go up, that rocket to go up as well. And of course, we're following all this on our website, KVIA.com. Make sure to click the Race to Space button on our homepage. You can see our coverage if you can't make it to your TV screen. We also have the Blue Origin live feed as well. And of course, Blue Origin's tweets are all being compiled here. You can check out this video that we have of all the crew getting ready to get into the car. We did see that moment live, which was definitely very exciting as well. You can also see all of our previous stories that we've compiled over the week. And if you didn't get to watch the Virgin Galactic mission as well, that one was definitely very exciting. You can go back and watch it too. But right now, all eyes are on Blue Origin and New Shepard's launch. So we're going to keep a close eye on what's happening on social media. I know a lot of people are excited about Wally Funk. I know I am, guys. It's going to be super fun to see them kind of finally accomplish some really huge dreams. And as Dr. Wilson mentioned earlier, the future is definitely bright for space, especially right here in the borderland.
Absolutely, Brianna. And let's talk to Dr. Wilson right now. You had something you wanted to add about that.
This is July 20th. It's the same day that Neil Armstrong first walked on the moon in 1969. My grandfather started flying shortly after the Wright brothers in 1903. And it's just amazing to see.
And that, of course, the very short jump from normal flight to then space flight about 60 years later. Incredible. A little less than 3 minutes now from that historic launch.
And so if people are just tuning in, Dr. Wilson, thinking they were going to see a launch at 7 a.m., we noticed the clock was pushed back. So can you repeat again about maybe why that could have happened?
Sure. There's a countdown clock. There's a checklist that you have to go through to make sure that everything is good to go, and safety always comes first. And so if there's something that somebody wants to check or they're not quite ready, they push pause. So that's just that's a normal way of safety checks and doing any kind of a launch. And this is still it's still a dangerous activity, and you want to make sure you get it right.
Commercial space flight happening here just down the road in Van Horn. That live look for us telling quite the picture. So we're 2 minutes away from those rockets igniting. The first 2 minutes of that flight, the rocket itself will reach over 2,000 miles an hour. It's going to hit 45 miles into the air before the main engine goes out. Here we go, Hillary.
We are about to go to space, everybody.
We are in auto sequence.
All right, so we're just now 1 minute 20 seconds, picture in picture. We have a few miles away from the launch.
Ariane, when that engine gimbal check occurs,
on the left side there, we are waiting for those rockets to ignite
in the cabin.
Send that capsule in
display the stack back and forth.
There go the aft fin checks.
Less than a minute away, and Dr.
There you
Wilson,
see
it's
the
so
engine gimbal
exciting to hear all the final checks even going on right now.
Going down the checklist, making sure everything's good to go, and you saw the dock kind of pull away from the rocket itself. So it's now standing without that docking station right there.
Here we go, everybody. Thousands of people contributed
about the 16th flight
years
of this
to this
rocket.
historic moment.
So it's just the first one that's had
It's
humans
time for Blue
aboard.
Origin's first human flight.
It's all automated, no
Godspeed,
pilots on
first
board.
crew of New Shepard. Let's light this candle.
T-minus 16, guidance internal. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Command engine start. 2, 1.
when the stresses on the vehicle are at their maximum.
Max Q.
Max Q is confirmed. Beautiful burn on that BE3 engine. Liquid hydrogen
Mach 1.
and liquid oxygen as the propellant. It's a nice, not just clean in terms of beautifully performing, but what comes out of it, it's steam, right? Whew. To see the glow of the engine underneath the rocket, just under our shoulders, and to know that we've got a crew that is going to space, it just feels different, doesn't it, Gary?
It is totally different.
All right, you can follow along, of course, the speedometer in the bottom left, the altimeter in the middle of the screen there. So far appears to be a nominal flight.
Well, that was amazing to watch. That was amazing to watch from here. I can imagine being able to see that in person.
Right,
to be in that capsule right now. We have our producer in the studio. We have our other members of the crew. Everyone had their phones
I just want to say right there,
out.
Hillary, they just hit max velocity right there,
Okay.
2,200 miles per hour. Going straight up into space. There's a live look, it looks like, from our field crew right there. Mauricio there.
Beautiful shot.
Did you all get goosebumps?
Yeah, I did.
A tear come to your
Yeah, I
eyes.
did.
Rocket.
Look
Yes.
my goodness, this is really happening.
What I have on my phone right now, Dr. Wilson, I think I'm going to have to post on Facebook because I was going
The
from
rocket has just disconnected there. That's the capsule itself.
Okay.
There it is.
Go.
Awaiting
from
separation
this shot
here.
to seeing everyone's faces this morning. Amazing.
You see it slowing down a little bit there, 2,600 feet, 200,060 feet, I should say. So far, so
And
good.
here we are.
This has looked
You
like
can
every test flight
start
we've seen
to
so far
see.
from Blue Origin. Just the only difference now,
Stand
we have
by.
4
You're gonna
astronauts
see
on board.
the separation of the
only
capsule
difference.
from
I
the
mean,
booster itself.
History in the making. And of course, once they reach that Kármán line, they'll be able to, you know,
They're
float
actually
around
Experience
and,
their weightlessness.
yeah, and wait, do flips, whatever they want to do.
You know, they talked about the fuel and hydrogen and oxygen. One of the research grants that UTEP recently earned was to figure out how to mine ice on the moon. So you can go to the moon, mine ice, and go on to Mars by making rocket fuel on the moon.
Amazing.
And UTEP is doing that research.
That's absolutely incredible. I think that's the sound we're hearing right now of the crew members on board the
That
capsule.
is the crew member.
Let's listen in.
And there we go. Our
Separation.
astronauts have passed the Kármán line at about 328,000 feet, continuing their ascent. You see the 2 vehicles there. When the speed hits 0, you know that they've hit apogee, their maximum altitude, and you hear there have been
Extent. So at 0 miles
quite
per hour.
an experience.
Okay, I'm gonna start back.
That's been Wally right there.
Got it.
All right, so they get about 3 minutes of capsule now coming back down.
Can't wait till they tell us what they were doing once they reached that point.
I
you
know.
know?
Well, I saw, Nicole, like that live feed there from the capsule. Hopefully, we saw it with Richard Branson when he was in zero gravity just 10 days ago. So
1 minute warning. 1 minute
just hearing
warning.
the crew reaction right there. That's kind of how we feel though on the desk this morning. watching it. There's everybody at the closest site there with their phones out. Everybody pointing.
I imagine once they reach that 0 gravity point, something like a roller coaster, you know, when you get to the peak and then you kind of lose feeling in your stomach.
It was Mark Bezos that said he'll be happy when they detach. He'll also be very happy when he feels the parachutes deploy as they come back down. So that's the next step here.
Anything you'd like to add to that, Dr. Wilson?
Well, one of the things about coming back in under parachutes is they've tested it so that that capsule can recover even if one of the 3 parachutes fails. So there's the safety engineering that's gone into this, the materials engineering, the chemical engineering. It's all so much fun to see this much innovation happening and then to see it demonstrated right here in West Texas.
First step.
Yeah, all coming together.
Human ingenuity. It's truly incredible. There's on the left side, it looks like the live feed from from the capsule itself. Right there, just looking back down at Earth.
What a view.
That's the recover. So the rocket body recovers, and we've seen some of those great images and videos of the kind of stuck landing, right? Where it used to be that you just built a rocket and you kind of had to throw it away. It landed in the ocean somewhere. By reusing them, you reduce the cost of launch, and for human space flight like this and space tourism, but also for satellites. And so so it really reduces the cost of launch. That's also enabled by space. That is getting signals from GPS satellites to know exactly where to go, just like you do on your car. That blue dot doesn't come from your cell phone company. It comes from space, from the GPS satellite constellation. It's run by about 40 members of the United States military outside of Colorado Springs, Colorado, and they enable about $1 billion worth of commerce every day, everything from Yelp to Uber, and now to a landing by another spacecraft.
Yeah, illustrating what you were saying earlier. It's not just space, isn't just about tourism.
Right. In fact, it enables a huge amount of commerce these days. Now watch this. This is just, this is just such a feat of engineering to be able to do this.
Oh, wow. That looks like a movie right there. It does not look real. Lands straight up and down. Look at that.
There's all that Texas dust. Yes, there is. On cue.
Touchdown. All right.
And booster touchdown. Welcome back, New Shepard.
So you saw those landing braces come out at a certain altitude. So that, think about that. It's just all of that metal has just been near that rocket, and it needs to withstand that heat and deploy right at the right time in order to stabilize that rocket as it came down.
Dr. Wilson, it looks like right there, is that the capsule itself coming back down now?
That's the capsule.
Wow.
And there it
so
is.
we're waiting for the, I can't tell if the parachutes are deployed yet.
They are not.
Okay.
You'll know when they deploy. They're big and they're very visible. But look at those windows, just the size of those windows to be able to see out. But I love that idea. Wouldn't it be great if it was all window?
Wouldn't it? That's amazing.
Clear glass. Maybe someday.
Standby drone.
I think so.
There you go. In space.
Oh, there they go.
3 drug chutes.
There you go.
Standby.
So those are drug chutes. Those will stabilize, and then the larger suits should come out. There you go.
Oh, so far, a nominal flight. Here comes the crew capsule back from space.
All 3
The
chutes.
drogues deployed. Here are the mains out, reefing and coming to full inflation.
It's like a flower, isn't it?
Our rocket went over Mach 3. And now
they're down to 16 kilometers per hour, so they're
16 miles an hour, about to join us home. Back here in West Texas, after having gone over the Kármán line, the internationally recognized line of space, the world's newest astronauts. Gary, how are you holding up,
when
friend?
they get very close, there's a lot of dust because it also senses its altitude from the Earth, and it'll fire little rockets to make that landing even softer.
Okay.
And they've designed the seats so that they also flex. So it's a pretty soft landing for they look like they're descending pretty quickly now, and they are, but when they get very close, there are these little retro rockets that kind of cushion the landing.
So don't be fooled by all the dust that billows up.
It's all the little rockets.
Feet above the ground, that cushion
Look at
there
it
will
float right back down.
puff, and
It's like
they
about
will have a soft
700 feet
touchdown,
away
almost
from
like just sitting
touching
in a
back down
chair.
safely.
But I'm sure their
Oh, and
adrenaline
as you
is
see on the
pumping.
left-hand side there,
Closer.
16 miles an hour.
After going over 22,000 miles per hour. Here we go. And you see the
You see the
countdown on
drone
the
there,
clock, 10 minutes.
watching it?
Uh-huh.
That's right. They said it would be about 10, 11 minutes.
There it is. Just a little.
Just the land. You have to clap for that. Beautiful.
Welcome back, New Shepard's first human crew.
I want to see the smile on Wally's face when she gets out of that capsule. I really do.
She hasn't been able to hide it leading up to all of this period, so I can't imagine the excitement in there right now.
We need to have her come to El Paso to talk.
I think so.
Absolutely.
I wonder what it's
Every
like
kid
where
in El Paso.
Mauricio is at on the ground.
I mean, we've seen the people reacting. We've heard the people. We've talked to them briefly this morning.
copy, first. That's you have a very heavy cap. You have a very heavy Capcom here as well.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Party there that Saul Signs has been at this morning. Clapping in the audience just like we did. Safe landing there, successful mission.
You can just see and hear all the clapping in the audience. This is actually the third time that they cheered. They cheered obviously when it blasted off. They cheered when there was separation and the booster actually landed. And now they're cheering now that the capsule has landed and landed safely. So a lot of very happy folks out here who got to see it firsthand. You know that if they go outside, all they can see is the plume of smoke. But from right here, they're watching it live, and they are having a great time as though they're watching a movie, cheering every single time that they hit that one moment, that anything of event happens, just cheering. A lot of people are very happy. You could actually sense the anticipation before it blasted off. You could see a lot of knees shaking, a lot of folks anticipating for the blast off. But again, a lot of happy folks. They got the very good view of the launch, the separation, the landing of the booster, and now the landing of the capsule with Jeff Bezos inside.
And now we're waiting
really
for
good
those
time,
trucks to
folks.
arrive. They're
Back
going
to
to
you
go up
guys.
there. They're going to open up the capsule, and we'll get their first reactions here live, hopefully.
Such an
Sheer
inspiring day.
excitement, I'm sure.
Inspiring for sure. And then Mauricio is out live as well. He was at another watch party of sorts, as close as you can get actually to the launch site. That is in the lower right of your screen there. And all different ages. You
All
know,
different
Dr.
ages.
Wilson, that's what's so great about this is you see the older crowd, you see the younger crowd, everyone just so inspired.
What I loved was that it sounded like it was a grandmother who had brought her granddaughters there because she wanted them to see. She wanted them to remember this day and be inspired by this day. You know, the biggest problems we're going to have in the 21st century are problems related to engineering. And now here in the borderlands, girls and boys have the opportunity to be part of all of those solutions by studying engineering, by going to space, by developing rockets, and I think within their lifetime they're going to see people living on the moon, not only living on the moon but going on to Mars. It's going to be exciting.
I love it.
Love it. And some of those young people are probably in the crowd right now. Their families, thankfully, taking them out to watch this happen. And actually, Mauricio Casillas is live with some of them right now. Good morning.
Yeah, Hillary, good morning. This was a sight to see. It was incredible. And not just something that you saw, but something that you physically felt. The boom of the rocket going up into the sky was felt. Everyone around us is cheering. There was people wiping tears off of their eyes because it meant so much. And at a time when people seem to disagree over everything, the one thing they can agree on is just how cool it is to go into space. And everyone that we've seen around here is just so ecstatic to see the New Shepard go up into the sky. You heard the boom. It was only visible for about 10 seconds as it went up to the sky, as it detached from the capsule and then came back down. We heard another boom, and then finally off in the distance we could see the parachute coming down and then the capsule landing itself. And then just a huge round of applause from everyone here, just a couple miles from the launch site. It's an incredible sight to see. We've been out here all morning long. The anticipation was building up, especially in those last 10 minutes. That's when things started to really pick up, and everyone is just thrilled to be here. We'll send things back to you, though.
Somebody else who's thrilled to be here are the crew members that just arrived right there. We see the movement inside, Dr. Wilson.
We
Those
do.
big
We see
windows.
them getting up and moving around. But you know, I was looking on Twitter the other evening about why do this. Well, why did Shackleton go to the South Pole? Because we're explorers. Because we want to push the bounds of what we want to advance discovery. We want to find new things, and this is the excitement of finding new things.
And they are moments away from hopping out of the capsule as the astronauts for the first time.
That's right. The richest man on Earth, Wally Funk, the only woman on board, and Oliver Damon, of course.
An incredible day.
18-year-old. 18-year-old now an
Imagine
astronaut.
at 18, what were you doing at 18?
I mean, this is.
We don't want to know that.
I was in college.
I mean, what a day. Again, congratulations to the entire Blue team, our astronaut crew, and of course the friends and family of these incredible astronauts. They're just about to exit the capsule here. Let's wait for that moment. There you see Jeff in the window.
Oh, there you are.
Felix is up here.
Okay, we'll do it.
So they're taking the bolts out of the door there.
Dr. Wilson, you were joining us here in studio telling us exactly what they're doing right now.
They were taking the bolts out of the door, so they actually, you know, you have to, that door is, you can't have the door come open, so they were taking the bolts out of the door so they can open the capsule, reopen the capsule, and they were just taking the ropes off. Those ropes were what were holding on the parachutes, so they were taking those off.
Seeing a lot of thumbs up right there.
Yeah, it's like everything's A-okay.
This was a textbook. This is exactly the way that Blue Origin envisioned this happening, and so far, it's been perfect.
Confirm. Okay, so you can go live. Go to the camera.
So exciting. What's going through your mind, Dr. Wilson?
This is just, as my brother would say, this is just wicked cool.
I agree. It is wicked cool.
That's the best description I've heard.
We just witnessed history, guys.
Yeah, we did. Absolutely.
What a day.
And remember, this was the first manned test flight of that capsule.
It is. It's the 16th flight of that rocket, the New Shepard, and they've tested it multiple times. Been very successful as a rocket, but it's the first time that they've had humans aboard, and so Blue Origins. There's hundreds now of space companies, small ones as well as large ones. Some ones that support national security space, but there are about 4,500 satellites around the globe today. There are companies, if you add together all of the satellites that are planned, there's over 85,000 satellites that are planned for the next decade. Everything from television and radio to advanced. Think about it. If you can image the Earth several times a day today, but what happens when you can do it 5 times a second? And what's the information you can get from that to make agriculture better, as an example? There they are.
Here they are. Jeff Bezos.
All smiles.
Great hat.
To the crew.
There she is.
The happiest woman alive right there.
A lot of hugs, a lot of tears we've seen this morning. Years of work in 11 minutes.
And a lot of cowboy hats we've been talking about, right?
She's waited over half a century for this day.
Oliver! Congratulations! Congratulations!
Wait till we really get to hear what it was like up there.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure there'll be a lot of talk here.
You gotta get up there.
Flawless.
Oh my God, it was so great!
What a day again here, a successful launch and landing of the New Shepard rocket and crew capsule with our first human flight crew there, Jeff Bezos, Mark Bezos, Oliver Damon, and Wally Funk. And their families there giving big hugs all around. What a moment, so much emotion from all of them. The elation. Did you see Wally? Did you see Wally when she came out? You know this. I told you she was probably going to do a summer, cartwheel as she came out of that capsule. What an incredible, incredible day. Let's just capture a couple more moments of this. Again, space flight, so much engineering, so much objective, hard engineering, technical thought that goes into it. But when you put people on board, there's such an incredible emotional component to this. The time, the effort, the blood, sweat, and tears, you know this better than anybody else. Again, congratulations, Gary.
Thank you, Ariane. And congratulations to the entire Blue Origin team. This might have looked easy today. It was anything but easy. To design a vehicle like this that is so safe that anybody can get on board.
From Wally Funk, who today became the world's oldest astronaut at 82, to Oliver Damon, who became the world's youngest astronaut at 18. He joins us from the Netherlands. Again, big shout out to our viewers in the Netherlands. Congratulations. You should be very, very, very proud of your countrymen. I mean, again, and representing the next generation of people that are going to go into space. I mean, I can't wait to see what Oliver does with his future. I can only imagine. You heard him in the video. You know, he just wants to spread the love, spread the message. I can't wait to hear their impressions of the view from up there. And in fact, I hear in just a moment we hope to be getting a couple of impressions from our astronauts. We'll stand by for that there. You see the friends, the family, you see our
standing by live to hear from those astronauts before we go away from our special coverage right now, the first human flight.
Safety team.
So the champagne bottle.
And champagne time, everybody.
The balloonists do that often for their first flight. You end up getting sprayed with champagne on your first balloon flight, and so you can see some of these things carrying over from other areas of aviation.
It's the only proper way to end the space flight.
That's the only proper way to end it, they said.
End a space flight with a champagne shower. And man, that is, let me just tell you, that is the beginning of the celebrations. There is a lot more to come. We are, again, not just the crew and the families, but everybody at Blue Origin who has made the historic day possible.
Really looking forward to hearing what they have to say. I did hear Wally Funk say, "You've got to get up there." Did you hear her say that when she exited? I think she had a good time.
I think she did.
I think so too.
To Wally Funk.
To me, the engineering that makes this possible and the understanding of the science, everything from the meteorology to the chemical engineering, the mechanical engineering, the electrical engineering, the safety engineering, it's just amazing that all of this could come together. And kudos to the Blue Origin team and all of those generations who have advanced the science.
Yeah, it would be amazing to see all the people who had something to do with this success today in one place.
And you heard it, they said it looked easy, and it did. They made it look easy out there with decades of work being poured into this project.
What a moment. You saw the first hug when Jeff came out of the capsule to his mother, Jackie, followed by his father, Mike. I mean, again, what
Brianna, I know you've been following social media really closely. We're watching this excitement. We're waiting for Jeff Bezos to hopefully say a few words, but in the meantime, I know things are just blowing up on your end right now.
Yeah, Twitter is going crazy right now. People, at first, when we were watching this, were a little anxious, and I have to agree. I think we were all kind of on the edge of our seats here. But right now, people are just congratulating the Blue Origin team, especially Blue Origin. They just tweeted this a couple of minutes ago. Congratulations to all Team Blue, past and present, on reaching this historic moment. Definitely a historic moment that we all just witnessed. And as I mentioned, people are going off on Twitter. This was the from Van Horn, the moments that the parachute dropped by, everyone cheering that got a chance to see it live in person. Then we also had some tweets. This woman saying, "Blue Origin, we are living in a time when we can just go into space, y'all. This is amazing." And it definitely was amazing to get to see in person. This woman also tweeting that it was so cool and they really went into space and came down in less than 11 minutes. It's hard to believe that all that work that they just mentioned earlier was years and years in the making, and again, it only lasted 11 minutes, but as you can see there, they'll never forget that moment for sure. So I know I won't. I think we all had a good time watching that for sure. And of course, I'm going to keep a close eye on what's been going on, but as I mentioned, everyone just kind of putting in their 2 cents and definitely excited to have witnessed history. And I'm sure Jeff Bezos is absolutely thrilled that everything went smoothly and they got to go to space. How cool is that? So
cool,
like zero gravity. That's maybe one day, guys. One day.
One day. We'll all put our money together and
share one ticket. We'll do like a coin toss and see who gets to go first.
And this was the first flight. Of course, they've got another one coming up, right? I believe it was in October.
I think there's 2 more. They plan on doing 2 more this year.
The
So
next
that'll
space
be
flight?
that'll be cool to see. Yeah, I don't know when, but I think Ariane had said on Sunday that they want to do 2 more by the end of the year.
That's right.
Do you know any more about those plans, Dr.
Well,
Wilson?
part of this is also to rapidly reuse spacecraft and get into the habit of making it seem just like going to the airport. So you reuse the spacecraft, you move very quickly, and that's one of the other things that keeps the cost relatively low compared to other historic space launches that only governments can do. The partnerships between the government and companies has really been remarkable in driving forward innovation. And the if you think about it, the government doesn't build rockets; they buy launches, and it's actually the Air Force helped to enable some of this research that Blue Origin is basing its technology on, as well as several other companies, to bring back space launch to America when it had been lost largely to a Russian rocket engine company. And so this is a great example also of public-private partnership.
And I know SpaceX part of that too, Dr. Wilson. You have, they sent their astronauts to the space station earlier, and now they're still trying to work on that. We see Jeff Bezos himself, I know that he's designing his own rockets and wants to be part of that process as well.
It is, and there's very close partnerships, and particularly with NASA, and NASA also has partnerships with universities to drive forward the research that will enable us to return to the moon, to stay, and then go on to Mars.
All right, so we have a shift of the crowd here, moving away from the capsule. We've been waiting to hear from these new astronauts. We're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be right back to see what they have to say. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I want to take you back a few minutes ago when the Blue Origin capsule landed successfully. Actually, we're watching it take off right here.
That was the launch of the capsule right there. This was video from when it happened. This looked exactly like every test flight that they had seen so far. Remember, this is the first time we've had anybody on board this capsule. And then there it is floating back down. The separation first there from the main rocket. The rocket itself coming back down to Earth, landing straight up and down.
Seriously, a textbook landing, as far as I know. Haven't read the textbook,
right?
But it looked amazing to me.
So the capsule landed right there, Hillary. What a moment.
It really was something to see. And then we also have the moments when the Blue Origin capsule landed successfully. 4 crew members inside, lots of cheers and tears as they finally exited, 2 people waiting for them to give them those hugs.
Their
so much
family members
excitement.
there. And Mauricio Casillas now standing by. He was there. He felt that rocket actually take off. Mauricio, still, I'm guessing, a lot of emotion around you.
Yeah, Hillary and Nick, you know, I saw hundreds of reactions when the New Shepard took off, but none was as captivating to me than that of Mike Hicks, who's joining me now. Mike, seeing the emotion on your face when that rocket went off, what was going through your mind? I saw tears rolling down your face.
All I could think of was, after all these years, we're finally back in space. You know, the dream of all little boys and girls is a reality now. All those kids who want to become astronauts, it's a possibility now, because we're finally back in space, you know, and we're finally doing something positive. I mean, I couldn't help but just think about, you know, Neil Armstrong, Alan Shepard, all those people. You know, from this moment on in history, when you think of astronauts, Alan Shepard, Neil Armstrong, you're going to share that now with Jeff Bezos and his crew. I mean, you can't help but be emotional about it.
Well, Mike, you talk about sharing. You got to share this moment with all of these people from all different walks of life, different parts of the country, some from different countries. So talk about how special that was for you.
Well, I mean, you look at everyone who's out here, you know, all the momentum. You know, there's been such negativity of what's going on around the world in our own communities. And everyone is out here pulling together for something positive. You know, the emotional, positive energy that is being generated out here is incredible. I can't think of a better place to be than right here, right now, and sharing it with all of these people.
Talk about that boom that we felt witnessing it just a couple miles away.
That sonic boom was incredible. It was deafening, you know, and then to be able to look up and see those chutes opening and the crew coming down. And then when the launch, that contrail that went up, I mean, it was a perfect launch. It was a perfect recovery. You couldn't ask for anything better than this. And just look around at the area we're in. You have this mountain backdrop, this beautiful desert scenery. This was a perfect day.
Well, Mike, thanks so much for your time. You helped make it even more perfect with your enthusiasm. That was incredible.
Thanks.
He's just one of many people that we saw have a very similar reaction. We're all united when it comes to space, and that was an incredible moment. Back to you.
But thanks so much. And hey, hold on to Mike, because I think Blue Origin might want to talk to him about a PR job.
I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, what a great spokesperson. Yes, he made it even more exciting.
I love it. And we do have other video we want to show you here of obviously following this historic launch all morning long. We do have video. Right here was the moment that the astronauts, the new astronauts here, exited that capsule. That's Jeff Bezos walking out right there in the cowboy hat. But the best reaction is coming up a little bit behind him. That right there, well, behind him there was the 18-year-old, and there she is, Wally Funk, doing the arm spread. I'm sorry she didn't do the flex right there also. 82 years old, becoming the oldest astronaut. And then behind them, Mark Bezos, Jeff Bezos' brother. 4 new astronauts.
They got a champagne shower a little bit after that. Haven't heard from them yet. We're waiting on that press conference right now. They actually went to another site. It was looking like they were actually leaving that area there, but sure can't wait to hear what they have to say.
I can't either. Now, our other member of the team who was there, ABC7 Saul Signs, he's joining us from Van Horn. And so what was it like being in that audience?
Yeah, thank you for inviting me into the GMAP team. I've had a really good time out here. You know, I've been doing this for a while. I've interviewed presidents, I've interviewed astronauts, but my best interview thus far was of a little 6-year-old girl who rustled her father out of bed to come to this watch party at the Van Horn High School. And I had the opportunity to talk to her. She gave me that opportunity to talk to her. And I asked her, what is it that you want to do if you do go up to space? And she looks down, thinks about it for a while, and she says, you know what? I want to collect rocks for my aunt because she collects rocks. So I want to go up to space and bring back rocks. That to me was just, it was amazing. We did get to feel the sonic boom while we were in here. And so I told you about all the times, the opportunities that the folks were in here at the viewing party were clapping. They clapped when the rocket lifted off. They clapped when the booster separated from the capsule. They clapped when the booster landed, and they clapped obviously when the capsule landed as well. But the best part was once all that was over, we got to feel the sonic boom. Everybody just broke out in a round of applause. So we're having a really good time out here. We'll be talking to some more folks to see what the highlights of their moment was during this liftoff and the landing. And of course, we'll bring all that to you later on today on ABC7. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much. So all that excitement, I know those people there in the crowd excited as well to hear from the crew members. So still waiting on that. But right now we'll talk to Brianna Chavez.
She is
social media.
Yes.
Yeah.
Social media queen this morning.
Seeing all the reaction coming in.
That's the greatest title, social media queen. Anyways, guys, NASA's even getting in on the action. They actually just congratulated Blue Origin on their successful launch of New Shepard. Congrats to the Blue Origin team on the first human flight of New Shepard. We look forward to future flights with researchers and NASA-supported technology payloads abroad. I know we've been talking about what's next for the future of space, especially here in the borderland. So it's really exciting to see NASA supporting Blue Origin. And of course, Virgin Galactic was also really big. This guy tweeting, history is ongoing. Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos, his brother, the youngest 18-year-old and the oldest 82-year-old, all on board to space. This is so unreal. I know we all had the same reaction. It was extremely unreal. And this person over here, she is actually an engineer. She said, beautiful flight, beautiful energy, and beautiful day. And I think we can all agree that it was just absolutely perfect. We've been talking about how much of a textbook launch this was. Everything went so smoothly, and everyone online for the most part has been congratulating Blue Origin. I know we were very excited to see it, so we'll keep a close eye on what else is going on social media. But I think so far the big message has been that it just went so smoothly, and it was so exciting to see. And Wally Funk, I know, is probably blowing up on. So I gotta check if anybody's tweeting about her. I'm sure they are, but
I'm sure she's trending right now.
Oh, definitely. I'll double check that. We'll come back and then we'll find some good memes of Wally Funk in just a bit.
Oh, all right. Okay. Hold you to that promise. Such an inspiring morning, though. And Dr. Heather Wilson, president of UTEP and member of the Blue Origin Advisory Board, is here in our studio. We've been so happy to have you here to add your perspective this morning. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. There are about 18 engineers who graduated from UTEP who got their first job at Blue Origin. So actually at the site, 3/4 of the engineers at the Van Horn site were educated at UTEP. So we're really proud of them. But I was listening to that story about the 6-year-old girl and bringing back rocks. UTEP just got a research contract from NASA to study the soil and the compressibility of soil on Mars. Because if we send people to Mars, we need to understand that soil. It's actually being done in our civil engineering department. So there are tremendous opportunities in West Texas for young people who want to study going to space or support those who do, or maybe even go themselves.
That's awesome.
So many great opportunities right in our backyard.
Right? And imagine all the young minds inspired today Better make some more room at UTEP, build a few more buildings, expand a little more, because I bet that program's going to grow even more after this. It has to.
It has to. And I mean, now we know that it can be done. We watched it.
Yeah, we just saw it
live
happen.
on TV. Never thought that it would happen.
And Dr. Wilson, before that even took off this morning, before the rocket took off, you said that this is more than space tourism, this happening here in the borderland. It's so much more.
It is, and as I said, there are 4,500 rockets, rather satellites around the globe today. But you think about all the things that are enabled by space now that weren't possible before. Think about agriculture and the ability to image the Earth and know square meter by square meter how much pesticide or how much water to put on fields so that they give the best production at the lowest use of chemicals. That's enabled now by space, and that wasn't possible 10, 15, 20 years ago. So it's an exciting time to be part of this.
So it's only getting better from here. It feels like just the collaboration that goes in. This is not just a West Texas thing or an American thing. It feels like it's a world joining together, coming together for just a little bit of connection.
It is, but you know, there's so much going on in Texas with space. I mean, obviously, Blue Origin here, Johnson Space Center. We've got SpaceX with its launch site in Boca Chica that's going back to Mars. So it's a great time to be interested in space and here in Texas or going to Texas universities.
Absolutely. Well, it's just an amazing morning so far. We do want to go back quickly here to Mauricio Casillas. I know he's been with us all morning. And Mauricio, we wanted to check in with you before we wrap up our special coverage here. It looks like it's clearing out a little bit.
Yeah, Nick, it's starting to clear out. We had hundreds of cars lining up the streets, and now, as you can see, many people are taking off. What isn't leaving, though, is that feeling of excitement. People from all across the country, as we just mentioned, came here to witness this historic moment. And in fact, I just spoke to a 14-year-old boy who almost was in tears because of how excited he was. He says he wants to be an astronaut. He wants to go up into space someday, and that's why moments like these are so critical. It's not even just the technology of it. It's not even just billionaires going into space. It's what it inspires, and it's what it brings into our community. So an incredible atmosphere. Things are starting to clear up, and you'll hear from a lot more of those voices later on in our coverage. But we'll send things back to you. It's been an incredible morning.
It sure has been, Mauricio. And Dr. Wilson, we were talking about the significance of this day. Now times two.
It's absolutely wonderful day, and it's great to see so many young people get to see this and then start to dream. And it's possible here in West Texas. And our job is to open those doors to opportunity at UTEP.
And watching it is just incredible. We could watch it over and over.
All right, we do have Saul Sines, who's been live with us all morning as well. He's in Van Horn, and Saul, still a lot of excitement there.
There's so much excitement out here. I got to tell you, we're at a watch party here at the Van Horn High School. There's just so much enthusiasm at this watch party that if Blue Origin ever runs out of fuel, the enthusiasm here alone can launch that rocket. That's how happy they were. One particular woman that I spoke with, she kept shivering and shaking and scratching. I'm like, "Were you cold?" She says, "No, I'm just so excited about this liftoff." So then I asked her, "Are you so excited that you would go up on a launch?" She goes, "No, I can't even go up on a roller coaster." So a really fun moment out here with a lot of folks out here, everyone having a good time. They could very easily have gone up and watched the plume of smoke, but they decided to watch the entire launch from that screen that you see behind me. So a lot of folks, I'll be taking the stories back to El Paso so that our folks back in El Paso can enjoy that as well. Back to you guys.
Oh, Saul, thank
exciting.
you. Yeah, I love that people did take the effort to get up and go somewhere else to watch it. Maybe want to be surrounded by other people who are as excited about it.
It's just like watching a football game or a baseball game. You want to be with people who are on your side. In this case, everybody's on your side. Everybody wants a good launch, and that's what we got.
I think all of us are just so excited about what happened. I told them this morning I could not sleep last night because I was just so anxious and excited about what would happen today, and it was a success. So that made it an even bigger moment for us here.
Absolutely.
And a big moment too as we're waiting for for the crew members to
Yes.
just tell us what it was like up there.
know.
But yesterday on Good Morning America, Jeff Bezos said that he wasn't nervous, and then he also said that he couldn't wait to see how space changed him, because he
Yeah,
said
we'll
that
need to
everyone
hear it.
comes back and they talk about how it changes them. And Dr. Wilson, I know you've heard that too.
And Jeff Bezos is an interesting businessman, but he's also a brilliant and insightful leader. And I think there's a lot of stories to be told. And it'll be interesting to see over the coming months how they get told about how this changes him and what this means for the future of people in space.
Absolutely, and we want to thank you again for coming in and adding to our program this morning, giving us so much insight. We've
Yes.
all learned so much this morning.
Thank you so
It's good
much.
to be with you.
And I'll just live vicariously through the ones who do decide to go up.
Exactly.
Brianna, was Wally Funk trending?
Oh,
is the
definitely
question.
trending. Yeah, this one was the biggest meme of all, her just coming out of the plane. There it is, right there. That's what we wanted to see. But also, this tweet just came down as well. Richard Branson congratulating Blue Origin
Nice.
and Jeff Bezos. So lots
There
of
you
fun
go.
stuff happening on social media. But guys, I'm so excited that we got to witness this all together here in this room. Like Nick, you were mentioning being together. This was definitely a moment in my book for sure.
No question.
Mine too.
And this coverage is going to continue. I know we're ending our special coverage now, but we have live updates on GMA. We also, of course, will bring you that full coverage coming up on ABC 7 at noon. We're going to be hopefully getting word from Jeff Bezos before then and let you know what he has to say.
Absolutely. It'd be nice to have all these different pieces coming together from our crews out in the field, bringing everything in. So be sure and look for our later newscast tonight. That'll definitely be fun to watch, the wrap-up of everything coming together.
That's right.
Did you guys have a favorite moment?
I think just, yeah, right there.
Coming out of the capsule.
Oh, wow. Have a great day, everyone.